What is up, my Lorcana goons? Welcome back to the weekly market watch. Today is Friday, February 9th. We do these every Friday and Monday, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you are a Lorcana goon, because today we're going to go over some Lorcana news, some Lorcana card prices, starting with this awesome reveal that we got today. We have an amethyst card for Pua from the movie Moana. Pua is a 2-ink character that's inkable. It's going to have 2 strength and 2 willpower with an ability that says when this character is banished, you may shuffle this card into your deck, which is pretty interesting. So now you will never deck out if you want to play Pua in your deck, which is pretty cool. And this card will quest for 2 lore. So pretty neat reveal right there. And I don't know how meta it's going to be, but hey, that's pretty awesome. We also got a Jafar for Amethyst. That's a 3-ink inkable. This is going to be 2 strength, 2 willpower. When you play this character, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one to the top and another to the bottom. This is a reoccurring theme we've seen in Amethyst cards. This card is a 3-ink inkable. Not too shabby, but also not too powerful. Might be good in draft. And then we have Wendy Darling. This is another Wendy Darling. The second one has been revealed. This one's for Amber, though. This is going to be a 2-ink inkable with 1 strength, 3 willpower, and you can quest for 2 with this card. So pretty interesting reveals right there. So I am going to recommend you goons join the Lorcana Goons Discord, which is going to be in the description below if you want to talk about these cards like we've been doing all week when these cards have been getting revealed. And TCG Player even has some of the newly revealed cards from this week already on their website for some hefty prices, like Robin Hood, Champion, Sherwood from Into the Inkland. Check this out, guys. This was revealed yesterday, I believe. It is a 5-ink inkable. It's a shiftable Robin Hood. It has 3 strength, 6 willpower. He can quest for 2, and this dude has 2 skills. This guy can, on your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore. So it's kind of like Taka from the first chapter, right? Being able to gain 2 lore if you clear a character in a challenge. And then when the second ability is when this character is banished in a challenge, you may draw a card, kind of like the Amethyst Cusco we currently have. So it does have to be banished in a challenge specifically. So if you use something like Be Prepared or Dragonfire on this card, it will not draw the card. But either way, it's pretty threatening on the board. And if you crash your Robin Hood into a character and it gets banished on your turn, you still get to gain the extra 2 lore as long as you banish the character. But if the Robin Hood character gets banished in that challenge, you still draw a card. So you can crash into an opposing character to draw the card, or you can play aggressively and keep questing with it, and when your opponent banishes it, boom, you draw a card. So it's a card that kind of replaces itself, which is really good. Very deserving of a legendary spot, in my opinion. Now, this character is a shift 3 as well, so you're probably thinking, cool, I can play the Robin Hood on turn 2 that's uninkable and then play this on turn 3. But check this out, guys. We got a Robin Hood Goons character. Now, the Goons characters are the characters that have 1 cost, 2 strength, 2 willpower that are vanillas, you know? So we have Goons, and then we have Robin Hood Goons, and then we had Queen Goons this whole format because you can shift the Queen. Now we have a Robin Goons card, so you can play this on turn 1, and then turn 2 you can play your other Robin Hood, and turn 3 you can shift either Robin Hood you want, depending on which one survives. But alongside this Robin Hood Goons, we've had a couple other new Goons type cards Into the Inklands, like the Kita Goons right here. Similar style right here. It's a 1-ink inkable with a 2 strength, 2 willpower, no ability. But hey, look, we got a Kita shiftable character that was revealed as well. So all these cool Goons characters getting awesome shiftable legendaries is what it's looking like Into the Inklands. This Kita legendary is probably not going to be $50, but it could be. We never know, because we see how high legendary beast is right now, right? But this Kita is going to shift 3. It has 3 strength, 5 willpower. It can quest for 2, and her ability is when you play this character, all characters get -3 strength until the start of your next turn. So pretty interesting. You play it and your opposing characters are weak, so that means if you're questing with your Lilos and whatnot, more than likely if you shift this on turn 3, all the characters that would normally be able to challenge Lilo are just not going to be strong enough because they're going to have 3 strength less. But I bring this up because I don't know if you guys knew this, but in the movie Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent's goons consist of like 7-8 different goons, you know what I mean? And Goons is a 1-ink, 2 strength, 2 willpower character, and you know, maybe if we get a shift Goons, it'll be like more than the 3 goons that are normally on the card, because the goons that are on the card currently for the first chapter, there's only 3 of them. So we could get a shift Goons. I don't think that's asking for too much, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think of that, and make sure you leave a comment on a Ravensburger or these videos that you want to shift Goons, because we do need a shift Goons. I feel like if we get a Mega Goons, you know, we'll play it on top of the Goons as a shift 3, and then there's 7 Maleficent's Goons, you know what I mean? So just food for thought right there. But we do have some other interesting reveals that I want to go over, like slightly. The Lost Boy, he's a 4 ink inkable, 4 strength, 3 willpower. If you have a character named Peter Pan in play, you can play this character for 1 less, and he has evasive. That card is pretty cool. Cubby, another Lost Boy. This card's not that good. It is a 4 ink inkable, has 3 strength, 5 willpower. Whenever this character moves to a location, gain 3 strength. So we are seeing location synergy and into the Inklands with some of these cards. Cubby might not be the best card, but boy howdy, I love this artwork. This is really cool to see the Lost Boys alongside Peter Pan getting some synergy into the Inklands. But if you are interested in Into the Inklands, check out these pre-order booster box prices. Now, pre-order singles are a little expensive, so maybe don't go buy the singles for pre-orders, but the booster box prices right now are less than MSRP. $10 less than MSRP is what the competitive market has it at right now. Look at this, some listings are going to have 100 up to 173 listings available. So some shops have a bunch of Into the Inklands ready for you to buy at $10 less than MSRP. That's with shipping included, my goons. This looks like a pretty good deal. Now, in my opinion, I'm thinking that this set has been printed into Oblivion the way First Chapter and Rise of the Floodborn have been printed. And this isn't too far off what you would probably pay for a Rise of the Floodborn booster box right now, which is $123 with shipping included by Deck Edge. So shout out you guys for having this low price. So $125 for the Rise of the Floodborn booster box. The Into the Inklands booster box is at $130. So it's only a couple bucks more for the pre-order. And if you guys don't mind waiting the possibly extra week, 2 weeks after the estimated date of launch, then yeah, by all means, $133 seems pretty good. We don't know if this set will be like the First Chapter carrying insane enchanted cards like the Elsa Spirit of Winter, which has been selling for a decent amount this week since we last saw it on Monday. And I was on a podcast this week. I do want to give a shout out to Pittsburgh Cards. They're a YouTube channel. They did a podcast. They had me on it, and we were talking about Lorcana. They do sports cards, so they're asking me Lorcana questions, and I was asking sports card questions. So it was a pretty cool interaction. One of the things we were talking about was, where is the Elsa going? And I was confidently saying that over time, Elsa's going to be like one of the most sought after enchanted rares. For whatever reason, I feel like the current generation has Elsa as like on a pedestal, and in general, it just feels like this card always has the least amount of listings available. So since Monday, we've seen a couple of sales happen around that $600+ range. We have one that sold for $700 on the 5th, another one that sold for $680, and then $660, and then on the 7th, $745, and then on the 8th yesterday, we had a couple sales for that $650 range, $670, and then another one yesterday for $750. So today, one sold for $625. However, the lowest near mint listing for the Elsa now is going to be $799 by trusted TCG Exchange. Now, that it is not sold for $800. No, that is the lowest listing. But like I said, we have multiple sales for that more than $700 range, and we have multiple sales that are happening for around $750. So I want to say that this card is definitely hyped right now. I don't know if it's going to bounce off $1,000 again like it did a couple months ago at one point, but we are reaching highs of $750. We'll see if this $800 listing sells, but let's go ahead and take a look at eBay and see what eBay is comparing to. So right now on eBay, there's a couple auctions happening with bids that are still going to be happening throughout the day. A couple days left on these auctions, but if we look at the buy nows, we can see listings as low as $850 or best offer. So there's not that many listings on eBay that are going to be around that $700 range. We have one here, $700 with $5 shipping. So $600. No, these are still bids actually. So that's what eBay has to say. So that makes sense. So you're not going to find a better deal on eBay for those or anything like that. And just going off 130 point on the PSAs, we can see that a lot of PSA 10 Elsas have been selling this week for around $1,300+. We have one on February 6th, $1,375 for a PSA 10. Another PSA 10, $1,425. This was through bids on February 6th as well. February 6th, again, a $1,500 PSA 10 Elsa selling. So at one point, these were a lot lower. So it's good to see that these are more than $1,000 again. This one sold on February 7th for $1,225. So we'll see what happens with the rest of these eBay listings on the the enchanted Elsa. But in general, it's looking like the enchanted rares are definitely keeping their value. Some of them are, like Giant Tinkerbell as well. Giant Tinkerbell keeping its value with a couple sales happening today for that $250 range. One sold for $240, another one sold for $252. Today, lowest verified is going to be $248 by Josh's Emporium, which is pretty consistent to what we've been seeing in the last couple weeks. They were kind of bouncing off that $250 range. I feel like maybe some sold for a little bit more, like closer to $280, but it has calmed down just a little bit in the price. So $250 is what you're probably going to pay for a Giant Tinkerbell, alongside cards like Stitch Carefree Surfer. This card was for sure a little hyped. I want to say some of them did sell for $290, $300 for sure when we were looking at the sales history a couple weeks ago. As of today, one sold for $255, and lowest verified is going to be $256 by Crazy Deals. So another enchanted rare for around $250. Belle Strange but Special has also not been going up anymore, so around $250, $240 is what you're going to pay. Pokédex TCG has you for $239 with shipping included. As of yesterday, one sold for $260 and another one sold for $240, and on the 7th, one sold for $254. So around $250 for the Belle Strange but Special as well. Simba Returned King continues to have a variety of non-verified and verified listings. Lowest verified today is going to be by Tournament City for a mint for $155. Then Izzy Comics also has you for $155. So $155 is what you can find the Simbas at. No one's bought one in 2 days, so this one's not seeing a lot of sales movement like we were talking about earlier throughout the week. And the only one that did sell was for $150. So do you really want to spend $150, or do you really want to spend more than $150 when there's multiple sales happening for $150 now? So I think the last time we checked it on Monday, the most recent comp lowest was $175, and then before that it was $200, and then it was like $250 at one point. So some of the enchanteds are not keeping the same value like the other ones were. Did you think so? Just be sure to check your value on the enchanteds there before getting rid of them. This Mickey Mouse, though, is kind of surprising me because these were selling for around less than $100. Obviously, at one point, they shot up, and I thought they were gonna, I thought 150 was too much personally, so I didn't really think, oh man, this is not gonna stick around that price. And a lot of them have been selling this week for 125 and 130, but as of today, one sold for 140, and lowest near mint is gonna be 127. After that, it's 135. So it is staying within that 150, close to $150 range, because after those two verified sellers, the next one is 145. So I think keep an eye out for Mickey Artful Rogue. I think this one is going to continue to see some good sales. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation Enchanted Rare is seeing some sales movements, but not more than $300. No, these are selling for closer to $250 now. On the 7th, $290 and $270 is what people were paying for them. $280, $289, and these did come down a little bit. As of today, $259 and $250 is what they sold for. Lowest verified is going to be Pokédex again. Wow, let's see if I can add this to my cart. I can add it to my cart. So if you want a discount, Pokédex has you on a lot of these enchanted rares. $259 is what it's looking like for the Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. Beast Relentless has been climbing up alongside some other enchanted rares from the Rise of the Floodborn. Now, we did mention last time that a lot of the Floodborn enchanted rares are no longer less than $100. The Beast obviously being one of them. Now we're seeing a lot of sales happen for that $120 range during the week. 117, 115, 120. 119. As of today, one sale happened for $140. So this is going up a little bit. And then PTCG Vlogs has you for $135. North Arch Games has you for $140. So I would say this shot up a decent amount this week, a good like $20, maybe even more. For Beast Relentless, the enchanted rare, it's about $140 now, and I almost want to say it'll probably keep going up. There's only 20 listings, and this is just one of those popular enchanted rares too, that I think deserves to be collected. It's one of my personal favorites. So Madam M Purple Dragon as well is also seeing sales movement and continuing to climb throughout the last couple days. The lowest verified is going to be by Taco Poke for $119, so about $120, and then Camden Cards $120 as well. There's only 17 listings for this one too, and yesterday one sold for $140, today one sold for $120, and they've been kind of selling for over $100 consistently, which is good because at one point they were kind Lorcana struggling to keep that 100 plus value. And as of this week, they have been confidently selling for more than $100. So another one too is Lady Tremaine, Imperious Queen. One sale for 99 today. Yesterday 105. Day before that 100. Lowest verified today is going to be 111 though by Pokédex TCG, and there's only 13 listings left. So a lot of these Rise of the Floodborn Enchanteds are starting to see like close to 10 only listings, and usually when that starts to happen, you're going to see the prices start going up a little bit. So if you have some of the Floodborn Enchanteds that aren't like the Cinderella like we just mentioned, maybe hold on to them. Pete, bad guy, looky over here, one sold today for $100 on the dot. Shout out whoever bought this, Pete, for $100. Shout out you, because now we can confidently say that Pete is a $100 enchanted rare. There's only 11 listings as well on Pete. Check that out. Lowest verified today is going to be by Everybody's Cards for $100 and $1 shipping. Then after that, the next near mint verified goes to Play to Win Games for $109. So Pete is no longer. I honestly think if you bought this card for 60, 70, 80 bucks, that was a come up, because this card, I mean, I don't think any enchanted should be less than $100. And that's not just based off of my opinion saying that. That is just because like scarcity. You know what I mean? Like the enchanteds are hard to pull. The same as like foil legendaries. Foil legendaries are really hard to pull. Foil cards in general are hard to pull, man. Like and you guys, I'm sure you guys know when you guys are cracking your packs, how often do you get a good foil? Like realistically, how often do you get a quality good foil card? Like foil cards are definitely a little undervalued in Lorcana, I think. Let's talk about some singles, like some of these foils, like the Beast Tragic Hero, which has been finally seeing a little bit of a difference in price. These are still going to be selling for $40+, but during the week they were valued for $45 to $50, and as of today, a couple sales happening more in that $40 range. $39, $40, $39, $39, $40.99. We see a lot more listings today too. We're at 94 listings for this card, and we have a lowest verified by Nitro Mike cards for $38 and $1 shipping. After that, next verified does go to $43, but I get the feeling that now, since Rise of the Floodborn format is coming to an end, we're probably going to start seeing a lot more listings for cards, or a lot more sales happening. I think people are going to start getting rid of some of their cards, some of their some of the stuff they don't think is going to be good next format, so that they can save up for the next 2 weeks when Into the Inklands hits the shelves. But I think cards like Beast Tragic Hero are staples. I think they're going to be good in any format to come. So personally, I think if you haven't picked up this card, I haven't picked up this card. When they start dropping in price in these next couple weeks, I would pick them up if you can afford to. I am going to try and get play sets of some of these staples as they come down in price. I know they're going to come down in price because we're changing formats. Nobody knows what's going to be good and Into the Inklands. Nobody knows what's going to be popular, short print, etc. So people who are going to want the money right now, they're going to collect their bag. They're going to collect their gains. We have the near mint cold foil lowest verified selling for $65 still on the Beast Tragic Hero, which is good to see, because obviously we want to keep our value if we're collectors and we're buying the cold foils, for good. We want to make sure the value stays. So while the non-foil price might be coming down a little bit closer to $40, the foil price is still around $65, which is awesome to see. But like I mentioned, when these start coming down, don't freak out. I honestly think if you're just a player that's going to be playing long term, just hold 4 copies of your beasts. They're going to be good. I'm pretty sure they're going to be good next format, and I think it'll be good in future formats to come. I don't see a Beast Tragic Hero being a bad card. Look at him, he's too sad to be a bad card. He's already in a position of sadness. Ain't no need to be a bad card. We got Rapunzel still selling for $35. This really hasn't changed throughout the format, which is nice to see, because this non-foil isn't even played as much as it used to be. But we can find them for around $35. If you guys ever see them for less than $30 again, I think that's an auto cop. That's an auto buy, in my opinion. We have a lowest verified by JNC Collectibles today for $69.99. We're gonna ignore the banana stand, because if you guys weren't here for the Monday Market Watch, the banana stand has stuff listed, but you can't add it to your cart, so it's messing with the market price. So when you see the banana stand, just don't even get your hopes up, because you can't buy it. But JNC Collectibles has the Rapunzels for $69.99 lowest verified, so $70 for the cold foil, like I mentioned. I think compared to the Beast foil listings, there's always going to be more of the first chapter right now, because it's just an older set. There's only 20 foil listings for the Beast, and they're at 65, and way more people play Beast than Rapunzel, for example. And Rapunzel's, there's 30 listings, and they're already at $70 is what they sell for the Legendaries. And I think that really has to do with, as time goes on, there's less mint condition, near mint condition Rapunzels, because people are playing them in their decks, in their foil. So if you're playing them in your deck, or if you're a collector, you gotta also make sure if you've been playing them in your deck, they might be light played by now, bro. You can't really get rid of them as a near mint Rapunzel anymore. So a lot of collectors, they're really looking for the near mint ones, and that's gonna really maintain its value when as time goes on, because we see Rapunzel in the decks, we see Beast Tragic Hero in the decks, we see Maleficent Monsters Dragon being played in decks, being played in less decks as of lately, which is pretty cool to see, because the price is coming down just a little bit for Maleficent Monsters Dragon. Today we have a lowest verified by Norwest cards, 31.49. These were selling for $40 for a long time, then they started selling for $35-ish, and I kind of said, maybe you want to pick it up at the $35 range, but maybe not, because they might still keep coming down as the new format comes in. Again, we don't know what cards are going to be good. Maleficent Monsters Dragon only banishes characters, and we know now in Lorcana the card has to say location if you want it to impact a location. So this card cannot banish locations, and we just don't know if there's going to be like amazing locations in the format. There could be a location format, it could not, but because of that, these cards are coming down in price. There's more listings being put up. I'm sure there's still the first chapter being opened up fresh. The first chapter booster boxes are selling on TCG Player every day. So, more of these are going to get on the shelf. I actually just pulled one myself, and you know what I mean? So that's the fourth one I have. So I have no need to buy this anymore online. So that is going to impact the price on these non-foils. And this card might come down a little lower too. There was somebody in the comments I was asking, hey, when should I buy Maleficent Monsters Dragon? I think paying $30, $31 is perfectly fine, because even if it drops down to 25, 20, I wouldn't be mad. It's a card that's going to be good. It'll test the time, trust me, because in order to play Lorcana, you need characters. You can't. I don't think you can win with just locations. Lowest cold foil is going to be $70 as well. ENR Gaming $69.96. So like I said, foils keeping their value, $70, even more than the Beast Tragic Hero, and this one has 32 listings. 32 listings on this card. It has more than Beast Tragic Hero. There's more of them in the market, but it's still a more expensive foil because it's harder to find near mint. You see what I mean? Belle, Strange but Special, another legendary, kind of coming down in price a little bit. It bounced off that $25 range, and now we're seeing more than 100 listings online. And so because of that, I think it still might keep coming down. It might kind of settle at like $20, maybe less than $20 at some point. Lowest verified today is going to be lockdown cards for $23.41. But if you don't want to pay that high, you can come through some of these non-verified sellers and pay $23.20, shipping included, or $22 right here. So around $22 to $25 still. Some cold foils sold today for $45 though, so that's nice to see. So $45 for the cold foil Belle. Hades Infernal Schemer, this one was bouncing off $25 for a while. Today we're gonna have Ronin's Riches for $21.75. We have 78 listings for this, and today a cold foil sold for $45. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's nice to see when the cold foils are selling for that high, because I remember in the beginning of Lorcana I sold a Hades for a cold foil Hades for $50, and I was very satisfied with that sale, and I'm still satisfied with that sale because they're selling for $45 now. And I'm talking like first chapter. Like when the first chapter came out, it was like a month in, and I had like first chapter cards that were very scarce. The foil Hades was selling for $50, and today, months later, they're still selling for $45 to $50. You know what I mean? And that's near mint, obviously. So take that into consideration. Mufasa Betrayed Leader. This card has been selling throughout the week today for less than $20. No longer in that $20 range. We have a bunch of sales selling for $16.50, $15.80, $16.70, $16.77, $16.25. So Mufasa no longer $20. We have Absolute Games non-verified for $17.80, and then Onboard Gaming has you for $17.50 with $1.50 shipping. Pretty much $20 as well. But I do feel like Mufasa is kind of good this format, but we don't know if it's going to be good next format. You know what I mean? So this is a risky card, I think, to keep if you have a non-foil and you're just kind of banking on like trying to make some money before the format ends. If you don't need Mufasas, maybe get rid of the non-foils. It might be, but I also think that this card could just be evergreen. It could stay $20, but just given the way the reprints have been working, I think this is going to drop below $20 when Into the Inklands comes out, because I just don't really see people playing Mufasa style decks the same way. I think the Mufasa decks are good right now, but I think now that the format is coming to a close, it might not be people's first choice to try out as the format progresses. You know what I mean? So I think this card price might come down a little bit as time goes on, but the foils are still $30. I think Mufasa is an awesome card in general. It's nostalgic. I love the Lion King, so I think this has collectability. I like that I have foil Mufasas. I'm going to keep those. Another good foil to look out for and hold on to is going to be the Elsa Spirit of Winter foil. The Elsa foil lowest verified listing today for the foil is going to be $50 by Empty's Room. So a couple of these have been selling for more than 40 throughout the week for the foil, actually. $45.99, 45, that was yesterday. $39.20 was on yesterday as well, but all of those in the 30 are gone now. Two in that 45, like I said, and today one sold for $49.99. So look at that. The Elsa Spirit of Winter foils climbing up in price still. $50 now is what they're looking like they're selling at. Though, like I said, lowest near mint is going to be $50 on the dot. And even the non-foils for this card continue to sell for $16. Elsa's just like, I think, one of the main characters for Disney, man. I think it's pretty cool that Elsa has that type of popularity in the meta. And in general, it has that type of collectability. Now I'm going to go through some foils that are also kind of trending upward, like the Belle Hidden Archer. We've been looking at this one the last couple of weeks. Today, one sold for $21.30, more than $20 what they're selling at now. Yesterday, some sold for $22.50, $20.93. Today, the lowest verified is going to be by Nightlife Cards. They have it for $24. So getting close to that $25 range for the foil legendary Belle. A lot of the princesses, when they're foils, man, I'm telling you, they're going to have some value. And this card's a little hyped because now we're going to get Morph, which lets you actually shift 3. And we still haven't seen all of the Into the Inklands cards, so we could get a shift Belle, as we could get a Belle Goons. We could get a Belle Goons, a 1 ink Belle with a 2/2 stat line. That'd be awesome, right? That would be cool. Mickey Mouse, Brave Little Tailor. Check this dude out. One sold today, the cold foil, for $80. That's super nice to see. Yesterday, another cold foil sold for $79.98 and then $80 as well. Somebody got a light plate for $45. That's a deal. Yesterday they were just selling for that $80 range, and today that's really good to see, man. Now today there's only 9 listings left for the Mickey Mouse BLT foil, and the lowest verified is going to be $99 by ENR Gaming. They have 5 of them, so if you guys want your play sets, you can spend $400 and get a playset of foil Mickey BLTs. I told you guys. I tell you, goons. I say it every market watch. Foils are just the way to go. You know what I mean? And this foil, we've been looking at it since it was like peaking at like 45, 60, 7. I've been trying to bring it in every couple market watches to show you guys its progress on, So, Mickey BLT, a lot of Mickey cards in their foil versions, man. I would definitely, if you're a collector, I would look out for those. Foil Be Prepareds are getting close to $15. Lowest verified today is going to be $13.20 by Aranex, so that's pretty interesting to see. Foil Mauis are pretty cheap. They're only about $10. Infinite Gaming and then C has you right there for $10 for the foil Mauis. I like this card a lot, especially coming into the Inklands. I think $10 is a steal for foil Maui, mainly because Maui clears almost every location that's been revealed so far. You know what I mean? So Maui's going to be able to just dominate a location format, and this card's really good. Non-foil, foil, if you can get these for a good price, I would get your Mauis right now. I like Cinderella Ballroom Sensation as a foil right now. These are less than $10. We have lowest verified by JNC Collectibles for $8.96. Remember when this card was $20 almost for the non-foil? These are less than $10 for the foils right now. I love that price for this. Grab Your Swords is a foil staple. You guys are going to need Grab Your Swords no matter what as time goes on. Even though this is not target locations, it's a great card. The foils today are going to be $10.54. Lowest verified by Collectibles by MC. So shout out you guys. I like that this is keeping its price as well. They've always been around $10 to $15. It's kind of low right now, but I do think we're hitting somewhat of a buyer's market soon, especially with a lot of these cards that are undervalued like the foils. So check out for these prices that are going to start dropping so you can pick up cards you need before they go back up in price after Into the Inklands meta is established. Today we have some Rockstar Stitches for about $4 on the non-foil range, and the foils are selling for $10. I love that price. I love seeing that. A couple sales today for $10.80, $10.90. So these are kind of trending a little upward too. They've been coming up from that $8 to $9 range where they were, but there's still a couple for that $10 range if you want to go through some unverified listings. Tinkerbell Giant Fairy is another foil that you might want to look out for. Lowest verified $17.99 by McVeigh Games. So I think that's a pretty decent price. If you want to get the non-foils as well, they're less than $10. Again, they're selling for around $9 to $8. So look out for these cards when the prices start dipping a little bit. Hercules Divine Hero has been seeing a lot of play recently in the meta. So the foils for these are like $5 now. You know what I mean? So this might be a card. This might be a card you maybe want to sell as the format comes to a close, because Hercules for sure seems a little bit more niche in my opinion than some of the other staples we've seen, like Grab Your Swords or like Rockstar Stitch. So I feel like this is good right now because Into the Inklands isn't out yet, and Hercules could be good next format. Like I just said, if Maui can clear most locations, then Hercules for sure can. But biggest difference is that we've been using Maui since set 1, and Hercules barely became popular last month, 2 weeks ago maybe. So we just don't know if this is going to continue to be good. So I feel like if you have these in foil and you want to make a pretty penny, you can get rid of them for $5 this week. There's only 12 listings on TCG Player as well. Lowest near mint is going to be by Zeusy Emporium for $5.18 with $1 shipping. After that, Underworld Cards has you for $6.99. So $5 to $7 for these Hercules, and I think that that's a good price to get rid of them at. I just don't know how good Hercules is going to be next format. You know what I mean? So we also have some other stuff to go over, like some sealed product news. The first chapter Troves are confidently selling this week still for more than $200+. They kind of came down at one point, just a slight bit. A couple selling for like $215, $217, $220, but as of this week, $230, $240, and $235 are the sales numbers we're looking at, which is pretty awesome to see. These are keeping some collectors' value. Lowest verified is going to be by CB Wares for $249.99 with $12 shipping. So more than $250 if you want to go through a verified seller. Unverifieds have them for around $230. So $200 plus for 8 packs from the first chapter Trove. But like I said, sealed product, always going to keep its collectability. The Into the Inkland Troves are going to be very different than these Troves, by the way. And Lorcana has already confirmed that they're not coming with the same little boxes, and the Inkland Troves are coming with some new goodies for us Illumineers. But that does mean that the first chapter and the Rise of the Photoborn Troves have a little bit more collectability to them, I think. Another thing to note that is that the booster box for the Into the Inklands booster box is going to have saran wrap around. It's going to have a plastic wrap around it starting for Into the Inklands. We're no longer going to have those little piece of tape on the first chapter and Rise of the Floodborn. We're also getting some cool mats with Into the Inklands, but I do want to point out the current mat prices for the mats that we do have from the official Ravensburger Lorcana space. Today you can find the Winnie the Pooh mat for as low as $63.96 by Swirled World if you want to go through a verified seller. Mazda's cards has you for $45 plus $15 shipping, so it's still about $60. So these mats MSRP for $20, my goons, and they always resell for really high. The Winnie the Pooh is still a little bit newer because it's the most recent one, and so it's selling for closer to $60 right now. But compare this to, let's say, the Mickey Mouse playmat from the first chapter. These have been selling for closer to $100, and at one point these were also sitting at around $40 to $60 because it was the second chapter and nobody was really hoarding these yet. And then now these have shot up to almost $100, and the Mickey Mouse one isn't even the most popular. The Maleficent one is. That one's selling for like $120, $150. Those verified is going to be $84 by Big Mom Empire. So, if you guys ever get a chance to get the playmats for Into the Inklands, and just don't pass up on it. Just do not pass up on it. I passed up on one map this season, and I just felt so silly. You know what I mean? But I do have some Lorcana mats, and I just think that these are a really cool collectible to have. So I am looking forward to trying to get some product for Into the Inklands. That's going to come out on February 23rd. I am going to try and do my best to not necessarily hoard any product, but I just also want collectibles for myself. I want to be able to have these mats for the future. I want to see what Into the Inklands is going to bring to the table to change our meta game. But until then, my Lorcana goons, be sure to stay tuned to the Lorcana Goons channel. My name is Kevin. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching this. We will see you goons on Monday.